It is my privilege to invite the President of the IUCN, Mr. Ashok, to enter the speaking chair. Thank you very much.
That kind of a reception I haven't had in a long time since I was playing guitar. I want to welcome you all. This is a small group of the IUCN family. Almost everybody here knows what IUCN is, so I won't go into those details. I want to particularly welcome the members of IUCN from Denmark and from the Nordic region. We've had a long history, almost the entire 60 years that IUCN has been in existence. This region and this particular country, Denmark, have played a very strong part in building it up. I'm just going to talk a little bit about what's going on at the other end of town. I think it's pretty clear to people like us that the matters that brought us here to Copenhagen are of the highest urgency, the highest need of attention immediately if life on Earth is going to be saved. We know that. Whether our political leaders fully understand that urgency is something we now have to think about. We have to think about it because they're not showing signs of that, but also they will never show signs of that unless we push them into it. So we have an extra special responsibility as an international NGO, an organization that was set up to be clearly objective, scientific, and able essentially to push the decision makers in this world. They may be in government, they may be corporates, they may be even civil society, other fellow NGOs who are working in other domains. And all of these need a certain amount of prodding. First of all, of course, they need good information. But even if they have access to the information, they also have to be persuaded to act, to make policies, to set up institutions, to make budgets, to get things working on the ground. While we've known the gravity of the situation, people like us in this room are vis-a-vis climate change, not enough has been done so far. The sad part of it is that climate change isn't the only problem we've got. If you look at the list of the big crises today, crises of species extinction, running right now at 1,000 times the normal rate mandated by evolution. 1,000 times more means that of the 6 extinctions from the beginning of history of the planet, from the beginning of the history of life on the planet, this is way beyond anything that happened in the past. When the dinosaurs were made extinct, there was nothing as past as this. So we have to somehow get that across. The acidification of the oceans, the bleaching of coral reefs, the massive destruction of our forests, desertification, 60,000 square kilometers every year of good fertile land become deserts around the world. But of course, we have crises in other spheres that are not really related to our day-to-day work. Conservation and nature are only one part of the problem. We have our banking systems collapsing, national economies collapsing. And probably one of the worst blights of all is the massive amount of poverty in this world. There's some half the people in this planet who live on under $2 a day. Now, I don't know how many of you have tried to live on $2 a day, but I can tell you it's not easy. I tried to do it in a poor country like India, which would have been easy. I don't know how to do it. But there are 3 billion people who have to do it every day. Can you imagine the lives of the children? or their wives, or their parents. So I think we have to start dealing with all these issues in a more holistic way. As the chairman of the Danish National Committee, who just spoke, said, these are all integrated problems. They've got the same root causes. Is it for need that we make our development, or is it for greed of a few people? So I just want to share with you just a few moments of thinking about IUCN's role in this, because all of us can actually make a big difference if we work in the same direction. Our job is to look at conservation. Our job is not to look at whether the fisheries are collapsing or this or that for other reasons, but how to manage our resources, our living resources, so that we will be able to bequeath to our children, leave behind for the next generations, something that can support them. IUCN has done phenomenal work in the 60 years of its existence in bringing about a change in thinking in governments, civil society, and now gradually even in companies, in business, that it can't go on anymore. Here in Copenhagen at COP15, I'm very surprised and very pleased to know that a year ago when we were preparing for this conference, many of the issues that we were concerned with were not even in the documents. We didn't even know about them. We met a secretary, a minister of agriculture of one of the biggest countries, most richest countries in the world. He didn't even know about IUCN listening. But he will know by the end of this week, because I can tell you, we've done a lot of work at this conference. We've had a huge number of people working, not all of them on the staff of IUCN, but people who have joined IUCN's campaigns in a variety of ways. And I can mention that ecosystem-based adaptation is now current language. People are talking about it. We came in here and nobody thought about how to reduce the changes in climate to mitigate carbon emissions through nature. And we've been able to show people that you can increase resilience by bringing back the forests and the grazing lands and all the basic ecosystems that the world always had. You can improve food security. You can sequester carbon in forests, in algae, in biochar, a recent addition to our armory of tools. And we know that it is now possible to work with coastal areas, coral reefs and so on. And all of them have an impact. Both are impacted by, of course, climate change, but can also help to reduce it.